Hey everyone, before we get into the normal bar talk shenanigans, I just want to thank today's sponsor, and today's episode is brought to you by Whack, the new way of tracking your hours and earnings as well as organizing life around an hourly paid job. Founded by two ex-bartenders from the UK, they know the challenges of working in the hospitality industry. Whack was created for those paid by the hour, typically working unpredictable shift patterns. They want to swap payslip guessing, endless shift notes, and payday panic with a feeling of financial security. And now, since we have a lot of friends in the industry, we've been kind of like, hanging out in Plymouth and showing off the app to some friends. And so just for a little bit of feedback, I brought in my good friend Jack, who's a bar manager in downtown Plymouth. And here's what she has to say about the app.
I've used it, and it's so good. It's got everything. With Whack, I can track my hours and pay down to the second, including any rate changes and tips. I can easily view work schedules, see a live pay slip estimate, and I can store my important work-related documents. I can also see an overview of my bills and spending money between paydays. Oh, and did I mention that Whack is completely free?
So check out the thousands of reviews they have on Google Play and the App Store, and you can download Whack. That's WAC today by checking out the link in this episode's description. I know, right?
I'm here more than you.
That was at Mayflower, right?
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That's when we did Orange Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo.
Is it just Buffalo?
Yeah, you can't get caught with a drink in your right hand. If someone sees you, they call Buffalo on you, and you got to chug it. So you got to drink it with your left hand. And we did that the whole fucking episode.
All right.
It's easy for me. I'm left.
I mean, it's not.
I was going to say, no one's drinking anything fun, so, I mean, it would just be a dick move at this point.
We could do it for the Q&A.
Yeah.
Fucking crush my coffee and just have a fucking stroke.
But I got a chocolate frap in my hand. It's hot coffee. Cough medicine. Chug it.
Just robo-tripping by the end of it.
Oh, I miss robo trip. Love you, Paradise. It's a robo trip with that guy.
I'm glad we got that on recording. Welcome back to the Bar Talk Podcast. I am Andy, your host. I am joined today by the legend himself, Jordan Chabot of Speedwell and Sixes and Sevens.
He's only being nice because I remembered his birthday, and that's carrying over.
That's 100%.
A legend.
Yeah. Why else would I be nice to you?
Hello, everybody.
My Carl impression.
We're Carless today.
He's here in haunting
Carl,
spirit.
Is that what we're doing? But we have in his place New World Tavern's general manager, Jess.
Hello.
Dan Mahoney, as always, of Stats in South Boston.
Sup, bros and broettes.
And formerly of Speedwell Tavern, musician, podcaster. Why are you the...
I thought you were starting with...
All right, I'm taking it back. All right, I'm going to take it back now.
Yeah,
it's not because you were nice to me. Like, I still have special...
I told you it wouldn't last long.
The love is already out there. I bottled it.
Yeah, but I didn't want to take back the legend to Matt. It's Matt Audette.
How are we doing, everybody?
What the fuck is that?
I'm in your eardrum.
That was this Dave Allen
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
I'm going to get yelled at by Fish being like, Matt's fucking super quiet. What the fuck? Turn up the gain. I'm like, no, he was being a dick.
We forgot. Matt does an ASMR podcast on the weekends, so that's his voice.
ASMR hometown horror.
Fish is a little sassier than that. He wouldn't be like all tough about it. He'd be like, why wasn't the volume turned
You'd be
up?
like,
No, like he gets like pissy with me, and I'd be like, bro, I asked you 100 times to show me.
Oh, you must have forgot where the volume knob was.
No, I get like passive aggressive notes in the show notes. Yeah. That's like, sorry for Andy's audio call. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
So sassy.
All right, so we shit on Fish. Check.
Jordan, no one can spit out his
right at the sound. Yeah. So this is, if we seem like a little goofy and giddy, it's the day after Christmas. So,
right?
We're all fucking tired.
Yeah, tired. We didn't even really come up with a topic.
No.
Other than people just kind of being burnt out and on call and
yeah.
So we're recording in the back room because New World Tavern's now open on Mondays.
Just for this Monday.
Oh, so just
That's
this
a huge
Monday.
help.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. I did it just for you.
I'm tired of getting pantsed in front of Plymouth every Monday holiday.
Well, by other people. Jordan's just doing it to himself.
I'll go to wait a table, someone just...
But I mean, things are creeping back to normal.
Kind of.
Because, I mean, you guys are open on Tuesdays now.
Yep.
So, I mean, is COVID over? Are we done?
Yeah, I mean,
I've been
it's always
checked
gonna be
out.
around, but I think as far as it affecting, like, the general public functioning, like, open hours and
Well,
stuff.
I mean, I was saying this yesterday, how, like, I felt like there were so many places that would be open on Christmas. Like, even, like, just McDonald's would always be open on Christmas. And they, at least the one that's down here near us, was definitely not open at all. Like, in the morning, nothing. So I'm like, I kind of feel like people are still taking advantage of the COVID thing and still shutting down their hours.
So let me pose this question: did COVID cause us to reevaluate the work-life balance? Is that the issue, or is it still people being like, "Oh, there's no help"?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but I think the work-life balance definitely. I think people are appreciating that more in bigger corporations than maybe they used to. When I worked,
but I'm not even talking big corporations.
But I'm just saying, I noticed that when COVID hit, I worked at Longhorn Steakhouse.
Yeah.
And I loved it there because they were like, you need to take time for yourself. You need to take vacation time. Like, you need to. And I never worked at a place where they were like, just actually give a shit about what you want to do outside of work. So, but I feel like that's ramped up big time because of COVID. And like, now McDonald's is being like, we're going to give our staff the day off for Christmas because that's important, and it's just burgers and fries. Or
Jess is
you know
like,
what I
I
mean?
liked working for someone that really cared about me. I'm going to go work for Carl.
Look, he took me out to lunch, and it ended up being hours of drinking, and then I was like, oh, sure, I'm going to work for you.
So why do you have a contract?
But, it's interesting because, like, I remember when I first moved to Plymouth, I'd walk down the street, and it'd be like a Tuesday night.
Which boat did you take?
Drove. But you'd walk down the street, and like the bars would be packed. Like, there'd be fights outside of T-Bones, and like, it's fucking Tuesday.
Yeah.
Now, like Mondays and Tuesdays, it's a ghost town.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and again, I feel like just people. They're like, probably from a business owner perspective, like you're like, what money am I spending on? Labor, electricity, entertainment if you want to have entertainment, and then what are my sales? And especially where people like right after COVID were so hesitant to go out, you're not getting everybody just rushing back out to fill your bar seats and your tables. So now your sales are way lower, but you're still paying that same dollar to open. So a lot of people are being like, well, is it really worth it?
Yeah.
And they've just continued to do it.
But it's that catch-22, like. No one's going to come downtown on a Monday night if nothing's open, but nothing's open because no one comes downtown. It's
I mean, to be fair, though, when everything was open, no one came downtown on a Monday night.
Yeah, that's
true.
But, I mean, and then you had 30 places open on a Monday night. Now you only have 10, but those 10 businesses are still doing decent.
Yeah.
Because if all 30 places would reopen, then you'd take that small group of people that are going out on Monday night, and you're spreading them thin, and now it's like, I don't know. You're right. It is kind of a catch-22.
Yeah.
There's so many factors that go into this, I think, where I think down the line we'll really get a good grasp in like 4 or 5 years where this industry stands.
Yeah.
Because there's still some of that dust settling. But there was like, it's so easy to go back to your original point to kind of use COVID as like a lightning rod to push things in a direction we essentially wanted it to go. But it was already kind of going. Like I noticed people drinking a lot less. But then there's other factors that have nothing to do with COVID that were coming for our industry. Online dating, legalized marijuana. I mean, just a whole generational shift. Attention to mental health has never been more in the forefront than it is now. The stigma's kind of getting extinguished.
What is online dating? How does that hurt?
Because people used to go to bars
to meet people.
Now you don't have to. You can stay home with your hand down your pants and go on OnlyFans or Match.com. And like,
oh, Jordan, what'd you do this week?
Watching me at home.
Instead of going to a bar, and then like everything's more expensive, and it's just like, I think, and then we lost a year and a half of turnover. So like a place like mine and New World, where it's really dependent upon your regulars, and then they sort of pass the torch to that next one, and that the washing machine keeps turning. We lost a year and a half of that. So there are people who found other shit to do in that year and a half, and the word of mouth sort of turnover stopped. And then the people you had coming in before COVID that were your regulars grew up. They got married. They had kids.
Right.
They got different jobs. The same with hiring. And we're going to be recovering from that for a little while. I think the industry itself is going to find new creative ways to get people out besides drink this, get fucked up, and get laid.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not that easy anymore. You got to get more creative.
I feel like that's a great advertising.
I know.
That's the way all, if you want, like South Park, like all liquor ads were. Get fucked up, ride a boat, have sex, do cocaine.
like there's still a lot of that, and that drives us, especially on the weekends. But it's that automatic. Put the open flag out, and you know you're going to have 30 people in your place drinking every night. Those days are gone. There's other ways to tweak.
Well, you know what's going to help now? Legalized gambling in sports.
This is
now,
true.
me and Matt can sit on our phone and take bets on when Jordan's going to cry during the Red Sox game. And
Wait,
it's
that's-
fucking-
I'm already crying
I
that
was
season
gonna
hasn't
say,
even
well, we do
started
that.
yet.
We already do that now.
Yeah.
But now we can do it for money.
Yeah.
Legally.
Legally.
That's a very
Really?
good point.
Is that?
That's just
I had no idea.
Well, I mean,
started?
for
So
my
is it
bar,
just
no,
about
it's
to?
not yet.
January, right?
I think February.
February.
But for us, we
for
have
Super Bowl
every sports
Yeah,
package
jeez.
ever because
Right.
we have such a giant gambling crowd.
yeah.
Like even now when it's not legal, so like it's gonna be that'll help.
I was always curious about the football squares because every bar you go into, they're like, "Hey, you want to buy a football square?" I'm like, "I don't even know you. Like, this isn't legal, right? Like, I get that you do it, but
I think it's a thing if you don't advertise it in such a way, like on social media or like.
You gotta be careful what you write.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
You can't, like,
Like
win this money.
You can go
Right.
up to somebody physically and be like, here you go. Here's
Yeah.
a football square. You want to do it, but you can't like
post the winner.
on- yeah,
It's like a raffle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't because that's technically not legal.
It's gambling.
Even like the Yahtzee
Right?
thing. Is
Yeah.
not,
I knew the
is not
Yahtzee.
I
either.
always wonder how that.
Yeah.
I knew the Yahtzee thing wasn't legal, but it's always kind of a little more on the down low. Like, there's usually like a sign somewhere in the bar that says Yahtzee
Yeah.
with a dollar amount.
But again, like
But
if
football
as long
squares
as
would be
you're
like, "Hey,
not-
you want a square, Matt? You want to
Right,
buy a square?
it's
You
gotta
want to buy
say,
two
like-
squares?"
I think it has to say like points or
Yeah.
so it can't
Right.
say like cash or dollars or
Right,
anything
yeah.
like that.
Yep. But even so, like, and then if you have to, like, Yahtzee's even worse because if you have to, the house still has to take a percentage
Yeah.
to start the pot over, and
Right.
that's even worse.
Yeah.
Because the house isn't supposed to take anything.
Right.
So.
It's a 90-10 raffle.
Right.
So-
Right.
Yeah, that's a good way to
But
look
it's
at
fine.
it.
Yeah.
I don't
Well, they
think
don't have
anybody is going to be like, especially
Yeah.
now with like real gambling on the
Yeah.
horizon, no one's shaking down your door for a football square.
Yeah.
No one
No,
did it.
I
No
just-
one was doing it.
I always just thought it was
No, right. Because if you don't have a gambling license, you're technically not supposed to do it.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
I never did it because I was like, I just so by the book when we first opened, and I was
Loser.
like, yeah, I know. And then like I look around and like Main Street's got
Yeah.
it. BBC would have them occasionally, and like I'm like, well, and then now Carl does it. Carl does a bunch of illegal stuff here. He's got poker tables in the back. He's got machines. Don't believe me. He's got machines. There's no keg cooler. That payout slot machines.
I mean, if you haven't been to the second floor of New World Tavern, you haven't lived yet.
I know he greases the palms of the gaming commission, but there's got to be other
Yeah.
people out there that don't like this shady shit.
You got to knock 3 times on the door, and the password's Albuquerque.
Yes.
This
Let's go.
week,
Let's go.
that's
Get a big puff of cigar smoke.
Yep. I mean,
He's got the slide look
the
on the
word's
door.
out now, guys.
What do you want?
Got to wear a Hawaiian shirt.
What's the password?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can wear Hawaiian
5-0.
shit.
Dick Cheese.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's his favorite
Right,
musician.
Actually, he just keeps them locked upstairs.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
playing
yeah.
New World.
Play another song.
So Matt, you escaped the industry,
Yeah.
sorta.
I did. Kind of reluctantly,
Yeah.
but
Grew up, got a big boy job.
I just I needed to get health insurance, and like with COVID and everything, it was kind of like we at that point in time it was
Was it
2020.
pre-COVID or like when?
No, it was during COVID.
Okay.
So like we got through the springtime. I was at Speedwell, and like we were doing takeout shifts primarily. And
remember that,
those
yeah.
were fun, but they were hectic as hell. Like
Scary days,
there was
man.
no
Yeah.
rules to like how much stuff was getting ordered. And it's like takeout. Like if you're only serving what's in the restaurant, you're only serving 75 seats. You know what I mean? Takeouts, it's bottomless pit.
Yep.
Fucking
Oh,
great.
yeah.
3-hour wait. People would call. Be like,
Oh,
you know, it'd be
yeah.
a 3-hour wait for that, and they'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
And we would
Because
work.
everybody was trying to support the local guys.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know, there was a huge call for that.
I'll tell you what. Just when I worked at Longhorn, we were not prepared either, and we're giant corporation, and we were getting our fucking asses handed to us every single night. So it's not just little guys.
Yeah.
We weren't set up for it either.
Yeah.
Like we had to like literally reshape our entire front area just to be able to bag stuff, like just have everything all out.
Right.
And then same, there was no limit to like what you could put in for an order, and so we had online ordering, and they didn't cap it. The company didn't cap it, so it just kept going and going and going and going, and they
that's
didn't
exactly
even
what we
like
did.
cap like if you did 10 orders in a 15-minute period. No, it just like rapid fire would just keep going, and we can't shut it off. Like we as an individual location can't shut it off, so we would just have to keep going. And like Mother's Day was a fucking nightmare. It was so bad. But you're right, and people would be like, oh yeah, that's fine, I'll wait an hour and 50 minutes. Rarely I would have someone go, well, I could just go to the grocery store and cook a steak
You
in
can't
that
broke
time.
no food.
And I was like, then do it. Like I don't know what you sorry, like I can't cook
Well, you're
it
there.
fast
Give me some
enough.
toilet paper.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, it's not just the small businesses. The big ones couldn't do it either for a long time.
Just enough to scare a really good employee away.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
That was the
blame
thing.
you.
Through all of that, like, and like, yeah, like those nights, like, you know, but you'd be done with it, and you're like, all right, cool, and then like,
Yeah.
you just kind of you got to go out of your house and like be somewhere.
Yeah.
for a
Oh my
few
God, that
hours.
was the best.
Yeah.
night.
And so,
Yeah.
but as it like wound, like we got through summertime and everything was kind of like coming back up, and then we got into fall and numbers started getting kind of creepy again.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew I was turning 26. I needed to get health insurance. I needed to figure something out. So that's why when I applied at Martinetti and I had to do overnights for a little bit, and then I was able to, yeah. So I started off like kind of on the bottom rung, and then I was able to apply for a position that I'm at now, working like 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Work my way up to supervisor. So it was worth the shot. But dude, I'd be
Yeah.
lying to you if I told you I don't miss working at Speedway.
Yeah.
every
Right.
single.
You
day.
almost came back. We almost had you.
And then they fucking felt it. I think
Yeah,
gave you a
they-
promotion.
Someone said something to somebody, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude,
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. So they grabbed me back in, but.
But
no,
you're still kind of industry adjacent.
Yeah.
Being a musician.
I mean, I'm always going to support
Yeah.
everything. Like, I'm always sharing Speedwall stuff. I'm sharing Mayflower stuff because of, obviously, because of Sarah. And still, like, I share things for New World, Food Court. Like, it's just anyone that's like, you know what I mean? There's places I'd like to support. They let me play music at them. I'm going to do what I can, help them out, too.
Right.
So,
Yep.
But I think we talked about I think Matt's the first musician we've had on the show because we've always talked about like bringing
Yeah.
one on.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
So-
know.
Yeah?
What other musician have we had?
I don't think we have.
You've had Rosen on
was gonna
like
say-
day drinking, but
Yeah, we've had musicians on other.
right.
Other
We've
things,
never brought
yeah.
Hilliard on, did we? I
No,
think we tried a
no,
couple times.
We,
and
we,
just
we
leave
talked
Piesco.
about it.
Piesco's been on. Yes.
No,
No,
we
not
don't
the
think
podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Just day drinking.
Yeah.
he could have just been repping Trillium.
I think when we
Right.
brought him on too, we didn't really think of him as a musician. He wasn't playing
Yeah.
around here so much. It was more of just like an industry beer
just
guy.
thought-
Actually,
We
the
thought him as
first
someone we
time
could
I
talk
met
shit
him
to.
was when he walked in to do day drinking.
Oh, really?
That was the first time I ever met him,
Oh.
and I
love
regret
that
that
guy.
day.
We all regret the day we met Keith.
At the
Yeah.
same time.
I know it's trendy to shit on Keithy, but I can't. He's just the best.
It's just so
Yeah.
funny. Like we
He's a
had
good
Zap on, I think the last couple episodes.
Yep.
And he's Keith's roommate, and every time he got introduced,
I didn't know that.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you did.
I came in late to the podcast. I didn't know
Because
that.
Yeah,
every
you did.
time it was like, oh, this is Zap, and like, who's Zap? I'm like, oh, it's Keith Piesco's roommate. Every single person like, oh shit, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
He's
You're
like,
right.
why does everyone keep saying
You're
that?
right.
I'm
Never
like,
mind.
I met
You
him.
did say that
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
podcast.
yeah. So, what's it like being a musician in restaurants? Like, what's the worst part of it?
The worst part of it?
The worst part of it.
It kind of depends. I mean, you could set up and, you know, it's just a slow night. You could have 6 people there.
Yeah.
And, like, that's never fun. But, you know, at the end of the day, they're paying you to do a job. So you kind of stretch it out. You do what you got to do. You talk to the crowd a little more. I'm usually, if I'm at a smaller crowd, I'm much more engaging.
Yeah.
Specifically. Like, I'll talk to people. And people tend to like that. But, I would say... But it's weird because I think I'd rather have a room full of 10 people that are clapping and enjoying everything than have a full crowd and no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
No one's paying attention.
Yeah, so
Because
but
the
that's
game's
that's
on.
my own,
Right, yeah.
that's my own ego, like
Yeah.
like striking me down because
Right.
it's like I need to just try, and I've been working on like forgetting that.
Yeah.
I kind of like took a break, And the thing was with COVID, I kind of was forced to take a break. So I was able to like reassess and kind of, you know what I mean, do this and the other thing. And then I kind of went full speed again. We had Layla. I slowed down a little bit, but now I went full speed again. And now I'm back, and now I'm going back again. So it's just back and forth. So like, but like I was doing Speedwell every Friday for 5-6 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And recently I kind of put a halt just because I was like, I'm getting burnt out. I don't want to burn myself out of enjoying coming to Speedwell and doing these gigs. Like, and so now we're going to come back with the second Friday of the month in February. We'll go from there. And I think it just kind of eases that pressure a little bit. And it's like you're seeing the same people every week.
Right.
And like, they probably get sick of seeing me every week. Maybe I'm getting sick of seeing them every week. So you can say it. But it's just, I think, finding that balance, and it is my responsibility to entertain a group of people.
Right.
I'm getting paid good money, and I enjoy doing it, but I have to like find that balance of not being selfish and expecting every single time I play everyone's going to be like, this guy's holy shit, and like it's like, because it's not like, it's just, I just want to go play music. Everyone has a good time, people enjoy their meals. It's finding that balance of not being intrusive to someone having a family dinner, but also pleasing that couple at the dinner crowd that's like, oh, 90s nostalgia music, this is sweet. So it's kind of a happy balance. But that's like some of the behind the scenes stuff for music I think a lot of people don't think about. Because they're like, wow, your job must be sick, like you just get to go up and play music. But it's like, yeah, you gotta kind of like play to the crowd, you gotta think about it, you gotta remember all these fucking songs, like and like learning new songs is like not as easy as people like think it is either. I don't use like an iPad. Like, I just go off my memory.
I was gonna say, you're one of the few people that don't use an iPad.
Because I'd rather just remember it. And then, because if I have one now, every dickhead has to come up and be like, "Can you play fucking piano, man?" I don't even have a piano, so I just, and like taking requests is kind of like, because then everyone wants to hear Wagon Wheel and country music, and I'm like, no.
Wonderwall.
So I do like, I've always held myself to a standard that I set when I started, and it's to not fold and be like playing all the same shit that everyone else plays and playing Wagon Wheel and country music. I was like,
selling
I'll never,
soul.
I was like, I'll never do that. Like, I'll play fun songs, but you're gonna hear songs that you've never heard in your life because I like that song, and I'm like, yeah, maybe you'll like it too. So I've always done that, and I'm glad that I stuck to that. And
that's always the interesting thing about taking requests is like you just don't know what you're gonna get. And I was listening to Rosen one night, and everyone kept requesting like 90s grunge, and he was like, "This is the wrong Jeff." Thursday nights.
That's so funny.
You know, so he's like, no more grunge. I'm not doing it. Come Thursday, see Hilliard. He does it way better.
And that's perfect too, you know, because it's like a musician community down here too. So if you do run into somebody that's at least a quality person that's asking you to play something you don't want to play, you can recommend when everyone does bring a different flavor down here.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true.
I've gotten asked to do private parties, and like that's one thing I kind of shy away from because I don't do the requests. I don't, you know, I'm kind of a one-trick pony. I do my own thing, but I'll gladly be like, you want to get your Jeff Rosen, your Mike McHugh, you know what I mean? Like I'll get these other guys that can
never heard of him.
Everything.
Kyle. God damn it, Kyle Morrison.
Kyle Morrison.
Yeah, I keep forgetting.
There's so many people that A, have been doing this for much longer than I have, and B, can just kind of have a much more gradual list of things they can do. It's just like, that's why I'm like, I have a very specific crowd that I kind of adjusted my music set to, and now I'm finding like, okay, now I got to create some of that wiggle room and do a little bit of everything to please everyone. But again, like I said, I don't want to just play the popular 80s music just because I feel like I have to, because I don't. So that's it.
But that's the one thing about the community, music community around here is like you guys all work together, I feel like, in such great ways. And it helps me out as people needing to book because, you know, say if somebody falls short and they have to cancel their gig, like most of the people that I know will be like, but ask blah, 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 you know, this person, that person, I'm sure they'll be able to do it. Or I reached out to so-and-so and they can do it for you. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. That's one less thing I have to do.
Yeah.
Like,
I see a lot of that like online where, you know, musicians will be like, I need an emergency fill-in who can, you know, or
even not just a fill-in, but like, my amp just blew. Says, can I
forgot
borrow
a chord. Who's downtown?
I got Maddie at Mayflower that day.
Yeah. So that's really cool. I like that about the, you know, the Plymouth music, or not even Plymouth, but like just the South Shore music community. Everybody's all
And
working
Rosen
together.
and someone else whose name I apologize that I've forgotten runs the South Shore Musicians Network. Or
Oh,
something like that?
Yep.
Which is it's just like an online group,
Yep.
and they just kind of do exactly that kind of thing.
Yep.
should probably look that
Actually,
up.
last year they had their
Yeah,
Christmas,
Christmas
party
party.
here.
Musician,
Yeah.
Jordan, you can't
And
be
that
in it.
was the
Yeah.
that was literally the
I am
best
a
music
musician.
show I've seen locally.
What, the
The Christmas
music?
party.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because it was just like it was
all musicians.
an open mic
Yeah.
question mark.
Yep.
It's just like everybody that you would normally,
Yeah.
Hilliard and Rosen
Yep.
and all the downtown people.
Yeah.
And like at one point it was I think Brian from Fly Down and
Yep.
Hilliard.
Well, because he was playing out front here at
Yeah.
New World, and then was like, "Oh crap, what's going on out back?" And then he just like came out back and started hanging out. Yeah.
It was like a Plymouth supergroup.
Yeah.
And just like a constant changing rotation. Someone would
Yeah.
get up, play 3 songs, someone else would
Yeah.
get up there. It was crazy.
And Jeff was like, "I'm not advertising it as an open mic, but I'm just gonna set my shit up, and if people want to go up and play, that's cool. But
Yeah.
if not, it's like more like." He's like, musicians never get to hang out because we're all playing gigs
same time.
like at
Yeah.
the same time. He's like, so
And he did
why
it
don't
in
we all
January
just
when
hang
it was
out?
dead.
Yeah,
So
yep.
it was really cool.
Yeah.
I hope they do it again. But I suppose the big question in the industry about music, or I don't know if it's a big question, but the thing that people have a most,
It's a question.
it's a question, but people seem to have a very divided opinion.
Okay.
If a band or musician is playing, is that person keeping the people there, or are they supposed to bring people in?
Both.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's a little of the two.
Guys suck. It's supposed
why?
to be a divisive question.
No.
I immediately extinguished that. If Carl was here, I would have wanted.
We're all rational
I
people
think,
here, yeah.
well, okay, but I think there are some places that do just want a background person. Maybe
Yeah.
Matt, you could attest to that. And then there's other places that they want you to get the crowd going. Like so it's kind of like, yeah, you can bring your friends, but in the end, you're just trying to keep the people here entertained.
You're both here.
Yeah, we're both
Because you
here.
have the
Yep.
out front room, which
Yeah.
is sort of background, but please
Yeah.
bring. But back here, you have
Yeah,
to bring people. in.
exactly.
Yeah,
You have
that's-
to bring
that's-
people in if
that's
you
your
want to
paycheck.
make money.
Yeah.
So we do both, but I can see where like there are places where they're just like, yeah, we kind of just want somebody to just strum along and there's just kind of be background noise. But then there's other places that want to put you front and center and like get people to dance or engage with you or whatever. So
Entertain.
it's
Yeah.
exactly. So it can be both. So I'm sorry to give you the right answer that didn't want that didn't
We don't like those
cause
here,
an
Jess.
argument. I'm sorry.
If we wanted right answers, we wouldn't have Dan on the show. Would you say all talking, no facts? Is that
Yep.
what Yeah.
All words, no
All
facts.
words.
Talk first, think later.
Yeah.
There's no thinking later.
I guess I did say that. Huh?
So yeah, so there's that.
Matt, do you want to add anything to this
Yeah,
incredibly
I mean-
boring conversation?
Anytime I'm doing a gig, I always post on the social medias and stuff like that. And it's like my initial goal is definitely like if I can get 5 or 6 people to come, I'm like sweet, that's good, or at the very least. And then if I have some people come or maybe no, like if I play at Fisherman's View, like I'm not expecting anyone to follow me down the Cape.
True. Yeah.
But that place is always jam fucking
Yeah.
packed. So
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about that. And usually I end up having a good night there. That's a good crowd room, always good tips. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm always kind of like, all right, whatever, I'll post it. But like if I'm doing like Mayflower, New World,
Yeah.
Speedwell, that's one that I know local and I can usually get, a good
Yeah.
handful of people to come and hang out.
Yeah.
And that, like, if I'm covering what I'm making between those people coming, getting a bunch of drinks and some food, I'm like, all right,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did my job.
Yep.
So,
Exactly.
and then the rest is just having fun. Because, like, usually I like the 2 to 5s.
Yeah.
I like getting in early, getting it done, and then I have, like, the rest of the night.
rest of the night, yeah.
Because it's like, and I don't mind the night gigs, but
Yeah.
it's like, I just kind of do nothing all day. You know what I mean?
Right,
'Cause
in
it's like-
preparation,
I,
yeah.
I usually will have some beers while I'm playing, but, like, obviously I don't start too early.
Right.
But I'm just like, all right, I'm bored. But when I did play here a couple of times, I think I had a 6 to 9 this year.
Yeah, there was a couple,
And they
yeah.
were fun as shit. And
Yeah.
I was like, damn, like, so I think going forward, I'm going to try to do a little bit
Yeah.
of both. Because that was fun. And, like, as you get closer to the last half of the 2 to 5,
Yeah.
the crowd really
starts
picks
ramping
up.
up a
And,
little,
like, it's
yeah.
usually a Saturday. People start drinking. They're having
Yeah.
fun. And it's, like, always a good crowd.
Yeah.
This room, the front room here,
Yeah.
the sound is always
Yeah.
Really
mint.
is.
Yeah.
Every time I walk through and there's a band playing up front, and obviously back here is awesome, but up front it is. It's like the acoustics are like perfect.
Yeah.
It's just a vibe when you
Yeah.
walk in.
Yep.
Guys done a great job with that. And now you got posters of all the musicians.
I know. I love that.
Yeah.
They're getting like a whole wallpaper.
They got a whole wall.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
Are you on it?
No, yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's
He's on
really
there a
cool,
few times.
especially like coming out of COVID, where musicians, I think, are unsung victims.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No pun intended.
Okay. All
This
right.
fucking guy.
We'll allow it.
It's early. I'm like, pun.
But you walk into New World and there's
Yeah.
like basically a cathedral
Yeah.
saying like
Support
Yeah.
your local fucking musician,
Yeah.
please. Like
Yep.
they just got screwed out of 2 years,
Yeah.
and that's really awesome.
Yeah. Well, and
Guys doing
because
it
of COVID, I feel like a lot of people like had that conversation of, is it worth it to have a musician? Because are people coming to see the musician, or are they coming because they know you have live music, or did they just not give a shit at all? So I think a lot of people cut musicians out of their kind of
Their budget.
and like just they're
I mean,
like screw it, and
and
it's
that's
like, well,
one of
now
those-
you're cutting out all these people who didn't have money to begin with, because
Yeah.
during COVID they weren't getting tax relief if they weren't getting checks. Like if they were getting cash, nothing's on the record. So like a lot of people didn't get any of that relief. They didn't get any of that help. And now all of a sudden you're taking away their gigs too. It's just
And then you have guys like Hilliard or people like Alicia
Yep.
Belisle who like went on and played gigs virtually,
Yeah.
and then donated all the money they got via Zoom or via Venmo for like tips to restaurant workers.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like you got to remember that when you
Yeah.
reopen, like if you're one of these restaurant people that hired these people before and you're not hiring them now and they
Yeah.
like did that for you, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So the musicians are people too, man.
Are they though?
I am noticing before, and like this goes a lot to what Matt was saying about like jumping off of Fridays, which I think was the right move. Like sometimes you just need a break if something feels like it's just run its course. And I felt like live music in general downtown was starting to get, and it's not the musicians' fault, it's just people were directing their attention elsewhere. And musicians weren't being appreciated a lot. And now I'm starting to feel like there are people going out looking for live music again.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
they don't know they need it until they're in a room and hear someone playing live music, and all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, this is what
Yeah.
I've been missing. And like people going to concerts again. Like you're seeing all the Ticketmaster wars going on.
Oh my God,
Ticketmaster
yeah.
sucks, but think about all that energy is coming from people wanting to go see live
Yeah.
music
Right.
again.
Yeah.
You know, like
Well, it's
Yep.
definitely oversaturated. I think even before I left working down here, it's like every night of the week you would walk out and there's 5 bands playing. I'm like,
yeah.
And this isn't shitting on anybody, but you could see Joe Schmo on Mondays at New World and Tuesdays at BBC and Thursdays at
Oversaturated.
after a
Yeah.
while you're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like
There's no urgency to
Yeah,
go see
like, I
someone.
can
Like
see
I'll
him
see him
any-
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
you're just gonna you can
Yeah.
just walk straight and run
Right.
into a musician. at
Yeah.
that point,
it
you
took
know
like
what
the specialness away. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna go out and see a band tonight. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
nah, because I can
But-
go see a band
For free.
Right.
Free anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then if you didn't, then it really hurt you. So it was kind of like if you weren't following the crowd as far as hiring musicians, and you were the only
yeah.
one
Oh,
not
yeah,
having
yeah. Yeah, you
music,
couldn't-
it really hurt
You couldn't not do it, but
you had to do it to stay relevant, and then. But you're right. Like it's either oversaturation of just musicians in general or specific people.
It's like another
Yeah.
utility
Yeah.
bill. It was
Yeah.
like you pay the electricity, you got to pay the band, you got to
Yeah.
pay the water
Yeah.
bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it seems like there is that value is being reestablished,
Yeah.
where
Yep.
it's like, no, this is about. All right, we learned during COVID we could all build bars at home and get fucked up there and
Yeah.
not have to worry about anything. But there's certain things you still can't
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
You know, you can't make a French fry at home. I don't care how good your air
Yeah.
fryer is. You can't make a good chicken wing at home,
Yeah.
and you can't see live music at home unless
Yep.
you're a musician playing for yourself or your significant other, your kid plays.
Right.
And even then, it's just not the same. Like,
Yeah.
And I think people are starting to remember some of that, and that muscle memory is coming back.
Yeah.
Which is awesome for you guys
Yeah. Yep.
because I feel like you guys got forgotten during COVID. And I don't think the support was there the way I was hoping everyone, and I'm sure you guys were, when everything opened back up. People were still really hesitant to bring back music, and rightfully so.
There was a lot of weird
Yeah.
issues
with stupid
rules.
rules.
rules and stuff,
that
too.
No
makes
one
sense.
really knew what the fuck was right. and
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I remember that was very frustrating for me because there's so much like stop and go.
Yep.
And go. So and, like I remember having like kind of heated discussions with
Yeah.
you, with
Yeah.
Carl about like, dude,
Yeah.
like I don't know
What
what,
am
the
I
fuck I'm
supposed to
supposed to
do?
do
Yeah.
or say or what. So,
And I don't know, was that a town thing or a state thing?
Both.
I think
it
it
was
was
all
both.
over the place.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
that was the
think-
thing. There was
yeah.
no one wanted to be wrong.
Yeah.
So you would look for answers and they just point in another direction.
Yeah.
And like, so finally, like, I remember the first time there was rollbacks, and that was like almost a year ago or
Yeah.
2 years ago today. The first time there were rollbacks, we were like, all right, gotta tighten it up, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And then they tried doing it again with the musicians, and we're like, fuck you.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
no, you're still playing. No, you're
Yeah.
still playing.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to sit down while you're playing. No, you don't
Yeah.
have to have a straw in your mouth drinking while you're
Yeah.
singing.
Have a mask on while you're
Right,
trying to
yeah.
tell the
No.
phone.
and
Let them come.
And it's
Yeah.
one of those, like, you know, I'm going to be the person who's going to pat the politicians on the back because it was...
Loser.
Well, no. I mean, because they were in the same point where...
What a suit.
But they didn't have all the answers then and trying to make the best decisions and not shut everything down.
Yeah,
And people
yeah.
be like, I don't get it. So I can...
Yeah.
If I'm drinking and eating, I'm not spreading COVID. It's like, no, asshole.
Right.
It's the only way that you can keep things under control.
Right. Is if you set these
To
rules.
set standards
Yeah.
or shut it down. It's
Right.
like, just be happy
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you know, like you're able to do that.
Yeah.
And it's
I
just-
kept telling my
yeah.
staff, like, listen, we're lucky. We're not really essential guys. Like,
Yeah.
we're lucky to be open. Sure,
Right.
you can't make as good of a chicken wing at home in your air fryer. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Is that essential?
Right.
No, because you could just eat something else.
Right.
So let's just shut the fuck
Yeah.
up and just do the best
Yeah,
we
just
can
do
and
it.
not
Yeah.
rattle
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
cages.
Yeah.
But it was always that, like, oh, so like COVID's only. If
Oh,
you're-
the curfew?
or-
So I get COVID
yeah,
when it
yeah.
comes out after 10 p.m.
And it's like,
That was
no.
my fucking favorite.
Yeah, but it's like,
stupid now.
no. It's just like you people are assholes and you
Yeah.
get drunk after 10.
Yeah.
And then
Can't
you
take
get-
your mask
yeah,
off until
and
you
then-
sit down.
Yeah, yeah,
You have a
yeah.
drink in front
It's
of
like
you.
they're trying to set up rules so they can keep things open
Yeah.
and have some sort of
Right. But I feel like the musician thing, it was completely lost on
Oh, there
when
were so
you
many-
reopened.
there were so
Like
many, yeah.
completely like, oh shit, we didn't think of that.
Well,
And
that's-
so then
for
they
sure,
had to
yeah.
go back
Yeah.
and then like I remember like there, like a live musician, and this I don't know if this was just in Blizzard, the live musician couldn't sing and play because of like COVID being projectile from their voice.
Yeah, we had Hilliard come
So-
to play acoustic.
So
like,
no,
vocals.
So then
Hilliard, no vocals.
Yeah. So then Brian Hitchings was playing over at at Main Street, and so they would just have him quote unquote DJ because they're like, well, we hired him. We don't want to like tell him, hey, sorry, you're out of money again. So here's a computer. Just press play, and we'll call you DJ Hitch, so you don't
Yeah.
lose any money. Because but it's like, but again, it's like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
What's the difference? Because he's not projectile spitting into your
Yeah.
mouth. Well, they shouldn't be that close anyway. Like,
But there is a difference.
no, I know.
You
I'm
know?
just saying, but like,
Because
people weren't
there's a difference
thinking
between
about
the-
all.
Oh,
of
I know,
that.
but
Yeah.
I had to only be outdoors for a little while.
Yep.
And
The
then-
thing
Yeah.
that sucked
and
was
then-
like we had to explain.
Only
Right.
acoustic.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
But then there was even a time when they're like, all right, there can be no like brass instruments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah, I
that
used to
makes
play,
sense.
I used to play French horn, dude.
Yeah.
In between every song, you're dumping out a half pint of spit
Oh, yeah.
from the
Yeah.
fucking
Same.
bell. So,
You play French horn?
Yeah.
I graduated college
Shabbat.
playing French horn.
No shit.
Really?
You guys should start a band called the
I sold mine a long
Blowhards.
time ago.
Yeah, I rented mine. Played viola.
French horn. Now I play guitar.
quote unquote. But and then I think at one point they were like, "Oh, you can stand behind like plexiglass." I think they did
See,
that. For
I
a
just
short
opted
period of
out.
time
I was
here,
like,
too.
I'll just wait.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
But I was fortunate enough that I was
That
working
you had another
otherwise.
job.
But
Yeah.
like-
yeah.
And I remember like some people were like messaging me being like, hey, like, do you have any gigs here? Like it was people that wanted to come in and like play bass or play
Oh, right.
cajon or something
Yep.
with me. And I was like, dude, I'm not like booking anything. They're like, well,
Yeah.
what are you doing for money? I'm like, I work 40 hours
I
a
have a
week.
job.
Right.
Yeah, like I'm doing what I have to.
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So you can't, if you got to make it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Playing music for me is not my like life. You know what I mean? It's I'm very fortunate that I'm able to do it and that I have it as my side gig,
Right.
which I know there's other people that do that too, but
Right.
some people are, and I'm just like, the people that are doing it full time are good enough to do it full time.
Yeah.
And I appreciate them for that, and they love it, and they're fucking nasty at it.
Yeah.
These are your Hitches, your
Yeah.
Phil Pacinos, like
Yeah.
guys like that just rip, and they're
Yeah.
playing 350 gigs a year.
Yeah.
But like that's the thing. It's like that's not me.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm a Friday, Saturday guy, and I love being just that, and I'm totally fine with getting up and going to work.
Right.
Gives
During
you
the
the
week.
freedom of just being like, I don't feel like playing this fucking weekend.
Yeah.
Like,
I just took 2 weeks off. I didn't play this weekend or last weekend.
Yeah.
and it's exhausting. I don't think enough goes to be said of being like a one man band too. Like
Yeah.
it's fucking exhausting. Like you have to literally fill the airspace by yourself the entire time. Your voices are taking a beating. You're gonna maintain your equipment. You're gonna lug it all in, lug it all out. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Like
It's almost like it's a job.
It's a job. And it's not an easy.
yeah.
Everyone's
No.
like, "Oh, you've
make money playing music, dude. You're so lucky. It's like the same thing as like, oh, you're a restaurant owner. You must party all the time. No, I get phone calls at 3 a.m. because there's water pouring in through my hood. It's not fun. It sucks.
But that's the thing. Like, I can't take it for granted. Like, I'm thankful to be able to do it because there's people that wish they could do it and they can't. You know what I mean? So that's why it's
Jess.
like it'd be such like a slap in the face to just be like, this is such a shitty job to have. Because it's not. It's fun. It's sick. I get to crank beers and fucking play tunes and like. That's dope, but it gets tiring. Like, you know what I mean? You work a full week, and then you go to a bar and you play music, and then it's 9 p.m., and you're like, I haven't seen my kid in a day and a half. Like, it's like, I want to go home, so.
Well, you even think, too, like, and you don't have to think, but you've done this, like, doing this during, like, cold season or something like that. Like, how miserable is just to talk to someone normal, and then, like, hey, I got to go sing songs and project my voice and not cough all over everybody.
Walking on icy sidewalks with a fucking 30-pound amp, and just fuck that, dude.
That is what it is. I mean, luckily, I don't have a ton of equipment. I load in quick, I set up quick, I break down quick, I get the fuck out, and then I'll have a beer or two after, and I go home and call it a day. So.
It's actually funny. This frequently happens where like musicians who play in the back and they have all their gigantic, amps and equipment or whatever, and they're trying to get through the restaurant because it's the only way to get from inside to the back is to go through the entire crowd of people. And they're like trying to, with a dolly, they're like, excuse me, and they're like, yeah, whatever, fuck you. And he's like, how the hell am I supposed to get through this restaurant when it's so busy? And then they have to yell at people just to get in here. And I'm like, and then they're like, is there another way in? I'm like, sorry, this is it. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Take a helicopter.
Yeah. Or like if we close the roads like we did for the 5K, the band that was playing back here that night didn't know that they closed. Or they're just not from around here, and so they were like, "We don't know where we are. Can you help us try and get to your location?"
Damn.
I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you that the roads were closed."
And that's something we do, I think, as managers and restaurant owners all the time. Is you guys are kind of like the redheaded stepchild. We're so focused on getting our staff in place. He's got just a red beard, a little ginger, a red bearded stepchild. We're focused on getting our staff there. Do we have our inventory? Are the lights on? Is everything working? Like, do we have menus ready? Great, awesome. Everything's good to go. And then before you know, you're like, oh fuck, I probably should have told the musician that the roads are closed. And like,
and at least I had that intel already because I was working at Speedwell. So I'd be like, oh, we'll do Winterfest. I'm like, all right. So I was living over there. I'm like, now I got to park my car on North Street 2 days before. Well, what I would do is I'd be working the night before my gig. I'd load all my shit in the basement.
Go right in my office.
And I would just, I would just do that. Like, because I would do the 4th of July day right after the parade. So I'm like, there's no way I'm getting all my shit in there during the 4th of July parade. So I would leave it there the night before Thanksgiving. Like, I had that. Speedwell was always.
I was going to say, you were lucky because you kind of had that.
I had the foot in the door.
Musicians don't have that shit elsewhere, you know?
But no town likes to close a street like Plymouth.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, they close it like
fucking.
Hey, we
close it
close
for
it today.
anything.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I heard there's a pothole that we.
It's coming. They're doing all this water and sewer shit now. Like late winter and spring are gonna be a fucking nightmare.
Hopefully they don't knock the water out again.
So
3 times in a week.
They're gonna.
A funny story for those listeners who don't know, we run a Krampus scavenger hunt every year, and we donate to the food pantry. And the whole thing came about because Fisher's like, hey, there should be like a Krampus thing around Christmas. I'm like, yeah, there should. And I got bored at work one day, and I created a Facebook event, and all it said was Krampus is coming, and in the description said, are you on the naughty list? Krampus is coming for you. And I put like a date and a time. We had no idea what it was. That's all I did. And I'm sitting next to Matt, and he's all like, now they're shutting down the fucking street for a Krampus parade? And I'm like, it's a parade?
That would have been so great.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we're not doing a fucking parade.
Remember Z with the fucking monster parade when he had that video he kept posting on Facebook? We were like, what the
That's what that was.
Yeah.
Oh
So you thought that was what was going on out here?
Because, in fairness, it was a picture of one of those parades and no description.
We had this like kid working for us who was really strange, and he might listen to this. Sorry, Z, you're a fucking weirdo. But
Fuck him.
Yeah, he's a good kid, but he knows he's weird. But yeah, he like kept posting like he would never post on Facebook, but it was just for some reason like 2 weeks in a row he kept sharing this video of the Krampus parade.
He thought it was like the fucking sickest thing in the world.
Yeah, and like,
It was from like Germany. Like it was like wicked weird, and I was just like, bro,
the
like what
video
are you doing?
itself, like the production and all that shit, was just a weird fucking video.
It was like a Rammstein music video.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And then just
my
happened to
God.
parallel with your event, and Nap was losing his.
I was like, dude, this is. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Get out of control.
He's like having a fucking parade.
Yeah.
Sad part is that the town probably would have shut it down for you because they're like, yeah, sure,
I didn't know how easy it was to shut the street down. I would have maybe thought
just
about
start walking in the middle of it.
Well, now is it a state law that like you can't bring drinks outside if the road's
Yeah.
closed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because if I didn't know if it was a town thing, but I was like, if they shut the road down and they do that for the whole day for like a big like Winterfest or whatever
Yeah.
holiday event they do, and like people can bring drinks outside and
Dude.
stuff like that, you're changing an entire different thing.
We were 4 months away from fucking doing it.
Yeah.
We had this long table event planned with the chamber. We were planning it all out in December. It was supposed to be for that May or June in 2020. And it was going to play into the whole 400 thing where basically we shut down Main and Court, and it was going to be one last long table, and like all the restaurants would have a section on Main and Court and come out and like serve 12 people each on the table, and you'd buy tickets to which restaurant you want to cater it to you, and just shut it down. You could drink outside. It was going to be this whole fucking thing. We were already talking to the state about it, and then it was like 2 weeks later, this COVID stuff started happening in January.
Fucking
And I was
COVID.
like, oh shit. And then boom, shut down.
Yep.
Fucking crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah, that would have been rad. Maybe we could get the friggin' juices flowing on that. Like, I have time for it. But in a couple of years, maybe try that out again. We'd have to shut the road down if that's okay
Yeah.
with you guys. But at least we could
I don't give a fuck. I live on the other side.
Plymouth now.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, dude.
I don't have to come this way.
So I guess it's all up to me at this round table.
Yeah, the last two big events I've had gigs in Pembroke and Sandwich. So
Yeah, you're like, cool, yeah.
I stay out of Dodge. Yeah.
That's what the people that I always feel for, the people who live on Main and Court.
I did. I lived on Court for a while.
fucking I did too.
Right across the street from here.
Yeah.
And it was fucking so convenient and so rad if you worked down here too.
Right.
But if you had to be somewhere
Yep.
otherwise on a holiday, you're fucked. You're fucked.
Yeah.
We're close enough, but you're not quite.
Oh, I'm on the other side. I can
Yeah.
get the fuck out.
I live just a little further than him. So,
Right. Yeah.
You know, I can get out just fine.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I plan my life now, like parade weekend. I'm
yeah.
I'm in another country.
Stay-
The last like 3, I don't.
Yeah, because you never worked in the restaurant
Yeah.
business where you had to deal with it.
I know.
I know.
That's why I like it.
No. I don't like that you like it.
It feels like just another day now. You know?
I know. It kind of does.
We've been like, I think, stretched out and stressed out so much in the last few years that like now you just throw a parade there. It's like, oh, it's just another fucking.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's inconvenient to get down here.
Yeah.
But if you're down here early enough, you get up a couple hours early, you get
Yep.
down here, you're over prepared, and it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, it's another Saturday.
Yeah, when I worked there, I didn't care. Like,
Right.
But now that I don't work, I have no like having
Right.
a game. I don't give a shit about parade day. Like,
I worked that 1 year doing the door, and I was like, I would have rather been in the kitchen.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
oh, see, I did the door at BBC, and I literally just fucking did nothing all day.
Oh, dude, I had it.
My job was to make sure you didn't walk in with a drink. Besides that,
I was getting yelled at by so many like
course.
middle-aged
because you
women
guys are right.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I
Of
couldn't
course.
accommodate their table of 18.
Yeah.
Like, dude, what do you want me to do?
Yeah. I know. Well, the last 2 years that I've worked here at New World for Parade Day, it's to be days. You're right. Like days like that are just kind of like, whatever. Now I've worked on a lot of them that I know it's A, it's going to be crazy, and B, there's nothing you can do about it. Like
Yeah.
there's no sense in stressing out about the fact that a middle-aged woman with 18 other middle-aged women are going to come in. Like you just can't. You just have to deal with it in the moment.
Yeah.
There's literally
That's
nothing
all
you
I
can
did.
do
I'd be
about it,
like-
right?
She'd be like, well,
And-
everywhere's busy. I'm like,
Yeah,
I know, it's
no
crazy,
fucking
right?
It's like there's a parade going on or something.
But the last 2 years, Carl would freak out. He's like, "Are we good with this? Are we good with that?" And da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, "We're fine. We have the staff. We have the product. We have lights and we have chairs. Like I don't know what
Only so
more
many
you
people
want me
can
to do.
come in.
There's
Right.
only
There's
so
only
much you can do
Yeah. Yep.
to prepare for it, and then you just have to live with it in the moment. And if some fucking asshole's being an asshole, you get a bouncer and you get him out, and that's it. That's all you can do. Like you can't over prepare. And then the few things that you do over prepare, you end up not either needing or using. Or like this year, we tried to. we put like just kind of grab and go food out at the bar to like if nobody wanted to wait for food or if they just wanted something quick. Smart, right? No one fucking ate it. So then we had all this stuff left over, and I'm like, well, fuck then. Like, no, right. But yeah, that's, you know, you just kind of have to go for it. Yep. And if you over-prepare, you may or may not use it.
Like, that really worked out.
Dude, we had
bagel sandwiches or something.
We did bagel sandwiches in the morning outside, which worked pretty well. And then we did soft baked pretzel sticks. We had them in like a warmer, and you could just grab them and like, you know, sling them to whoever wanted them, and no one fucking ate them.
That's crazy.
No one ate them, and it was displayed like you could see it. I made a giant sign like, get your fucking pretzels. Like, no one ate them. So it's like you can only do so much. There's no sense in like going crazy trying to get ready for a big day like
Losing
that.
sleep.
Like, there really is no. There's just no.
You still are, Jordan.
No, not at all. Nothing fucking bothers me. I don't know if it's the antidepressants. Dude, shit just rolls off my head now. It's so unlike me, but I think I'm just numb. I think
You're dead inside.
Yeah. I will attest to that.
You know, I don't think it's that. I think it's that you've done this for so long, and you just know what's worth putting your energy into.
Yes.
And you know you've done it so many fucking times.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, and that's what I'm trying to teach like my managers over there now because they still got some of that. Like, what are we gonna do in them? And I'm like, listen, it's fucking just burgers and fries, guys. Like, tomorrow you're gonna wake up, you're still gonna look at your kid, or you're gonna bang your girl tomorrow. You're gonna be fine. Like, guys, today will end if it's the worst day ever. But in your imagination, if you create it to be the worst day ever,
it's gonna be.
It's gonna be.
It's gonna
be.
be.
There's a seesaw balance.
Yeah.
Like, how much stress is worth creating in your head for exactly? Does it equate? If the worst case scenario actually happens, are you going to be as stressed as you are in your head right now? No? Then shut the fuck up and stop. Like, just take a deep breath.
It takes a long time to get there, though. I mean, I've been managing.
For sure.
Same. Like, we've been managing a long time, and I used to be so stressed out about the littlest things, like even about things that didn't even really happen. Like, I'd be at home and I'd be stressed out if someone's going to call me because a pipe burst. It's like, why am I stressed out? There's no reason for a pipe to burst, so why am I stressing out about it? And you just kind of have to let it go.
Because you had a pipe burst.
Because I had a pipe burst. So, for example, raining in the dining room at 7 o'clock on a Sunday.
On all your POS
We're recording
computers.
this on the 26th, and like this week, the kids all have the whole week off, right? So like typically on a school vacation week, we're always busier during the day than we expect to be. So my bar manager forgot that this was going on this week and didn't have any extra help scheduled. We fixed it. We resolved it this morning. We have someone coming in a little bit early. And I was prepared, like the old me kind of started going through. It's like you're coming off 2 days off at the holiday. You feel a little disconnected. You feel like you lost your touch for a little bit. Like you broke your momentum. And I came into work today stressed the fuck out. Like, I got to sit around on a bar stool and wait for it to get busy. And then I'm like, no, I don't. We're not even open till 11:30. They're podcasting at 10:30. Go across the street, jump on the podcast. If they need you, you're 2 minutes away. Perfect. And that's like 2 years ago. I would have been pacing back and forth in the dining room and nobody in there. It's just not worth it.
It's not worth it. And you could still run a successful business and not have to be stressed out 24/7. Like
it bleeds over to your staff. And it bleeds over to the clientele. It's like,
and I think it's one of those that you learn. No matter what you prepare for. I mean, if you're unprepared, you're going to fuck up.
Right.
But if you prepare, you still don't know that X factor. That shit that's going to go wrong is not the shit that you're prepared for.
Right. Yeah.
You know? You're going to be like, well, so like...
I know. Well, I'm notorious for having a plan B in my head when I may not need a plan B.
Same though.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then I'll try to explain it to my bar manager, and she's like, "Well, is that going to happen?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know, but if it does," and then I'm like, "I'm stressing her out just
so now it's gonna happen.
But like a perfect example is on parade day.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this was like common knowledge, but Tatum always says like beer tastings, and it's a big day for the beer cellar. There was a dude right outside the beer cellar who had like a PTSD, like Iraq flashback.
Oh
God! All the helicopters and started yelling at people, "Get down! Get down!"
My God.
And like nowadays,
that's
Fucking those snipers on the roof are taking
right?
that guy.
Oh my God!
And Tatum was like, the cops were like super cool. They came over and they recognized what was going on right away and like relaxed him and reassured him and they got him the help. But like, you can't plan for that.
Yeah, you can't plan.
You know what? Like that wouldn't even be on your radar as a possibility.
I think we all need to have confidence in ourselves as problem solvers.
Yeah.
Like when shit hits the fan, you'll handle it.
You because it's your only choice.
Yeah.
Like you're like, okay, well now I have to figure this out.
Fight or
So
flight.
Yep. There was a guy that when I worked at the Jetty years ago in Marshfield, that he overdosed or was overdosing in our lobby, and so like you just have to hop to it and like I don't
Pick them up,
I
you
don't
throw
know.
them on someone
Right,
else's
yeah,
sidewalk,
just kick
and
them
it's their problem.
down the road. No,
You roll them into hat ass.
be like, hey guys,
Oh my God, this guy's overdosing, guys.
This guy came from your place.
Right, yeah.
Did you guys overserve them?
But like I wouldn't know firsthand what to do in that. But now that it's like you live and you learn, unfortunately.
You just kind of ask questions to somebody else, and if they don't have the answers, you act the best you think you can do. You know.
Yep.
I've been in a restaurant where there's been human shit flying out of the floor drains.
Yep.
I've been in a restaurant on fire. I've been in a restaurant that's had a car driven into it. I own a house that's had a car. And you just handle it. You just figure it out, and it's not like everyone else around you doesn't see that happen.
Right.
You know, it's like so. There's going to be a level of acceptance that you can't have control over every situation that's going to happen, whether it's small or big. And then sometimes it's just not worth it. Like when you have a dickhead who's coming in with 18 people.
Oh, you just pointed at that like that.
I'm like, wow, man, dickhead.
He's a guest on the show.
Like Matt was saying. That comes in and expects something impossible. You just tell them they're expecting something impossible.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It's like I can't make a miracle happen.
Right,
You know
yep.
what I mean? So.
That's not the business we're in.
It's like which group of people do you want me to tell they have to fucking leave?
Yeah.
So that you and all your ladies can sit down.
And you're already miserable. I don't really want you in here.
We already started off on the wrong foot.
And I love Matt's like response because you can't have an argument with someone who's not willing to argue with you.
Yeah.
So I've been like, this is ridiculous, and he's like, yeah, right. It's weird. Like you can't argue with that because the person's fucking agreeing with you.
Well,
And,
that took me a long time to get over too. Is to like learning to you just can't engage with people.
Yeah.
Like you just can't. Like and
Just
for a
let 'em
long
be mad.
time, I'm like, no, motherfucker. Like I'm right and you're wrong. And like we'd go at it for a while, and then I'm just be like throw my hands in the air. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
Not worth my time.
right, you know. And then like, and you're right. Now I'm just like, yeah, man, fucking sucks, right? Like it's just
It's like part of that comes from like playing music because there's like there's a level of what I do that is crowd control, and it's like there's been times that people come up, they try to fucking hijack your mic. They try to do. People are maniacs. And so
I only did that once, Matt.
but like all you can do, and it's like at the end of the day, like my first move is not, hey, I can humiliate the shit out of this guy,
Right.
but I can make that known.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, I'm the loudest person in the room. Like I can make you look stupid, and I've done it, and I've done it well.
I love
We don't have to get into it, but it did happen.
One of the last guys I grabbed the microphone.
So
Fucking really
I give people the benefit of the doubt, but it hasn't happened often. But there's been a couple times.
There's a few times, yeah, I'm sure.
But it is what it is.
So to the world, don't ever grab Matt Audette's mic. or anything.
Don't tell me what to do. All right. With that, we're gonna do last call because I mean we're even got a little over time.
Yeah,
It's
whatever.
Been a good
Fuck
one.
it.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't have to edit
We
this
got
shit.
special guest Jordan Shabbat over here. We might as well go over time.
Edit this shit.
I am a special.
So, Jordan, last call is where we go around the table and we plug whatever we want to plug.
Oh man, I wish I had something.
Oh shit! I was supposed to be nice to him. So let's start off with Jordan.
Let's stay on target here, and Carl does a good job of this. Like I think every 3 last calls he does this. But support your local musicians, guys. Like we're back. This isn't something you can do at home. I don't care about watching things on YouTube or live streams and all that shit. There is nothing like hearing someone actually playing an instrument in person. And a lot of restaurants and businesses and venues are doing that again. And if we want this very important part of our life, we don't realize how important it is, back, we need to go out and support it so restaurants like myself can continue to find value in it and musicians can continue to find value in it. So get out there and listen.
Yeah.
Put the phone away.
Unless you're trying to get laid.
That's apparently the only way you can do it now.
Was that your last call, Jess?
Yeah, Match.com.
Jess.
I don't know. I guess I'll shamelessly plug the New World Tavern for New Year's Eve.
There you go.
I think it's going to be fun. I'm going to be DJing.
This is going to be out next year.
Yeah,
So,
because I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none, so I'm just gonna DJ. But we're gonna have a glow party and like black lights and glow sticks and maybe turn into a little bit of a rave scenario. I don't know what's gonna happen, but yeah. So come watch me make a fool of myself, play some music, and I won't take requests.
As long as you play the Christmas songs we listened to last.
Yeah, DMX Reindeer. Yeah.
Little John.
Rudolph the Red.
What? That's a banger.
Rapping for Jesus.
Rapping for Jesus. Oh yeah, I'm gonna plug that.
Oh my God.
If you guys haven't listened to Rapping for Jesus, I suggest you looking it up on YouTube.
I forgot about that.
I actually played that yesterday morning for Christmas.
Same.
I forgot all about it.
Oh yeah.
All right, Dan Mahoney,
Those
what
are
you
my two
got?
plugs.
All right, so it's Christmas time, and I have a very serious issue to talk about.
Yeah, but
No,
Santa.
I'm not mad at any
mad at the
plans. This is an
reindeers,
earthly
the
matter. The Grinch gets such a bad rap. You know who the assholes in those movies are? The
Who?
fucking
The guys sing the song.
yeah, no, the Who's, yeah. Because
The guy who sings the Grinch song.
he's a dick because that's such a shitty song too. Like,
Does he even really know the Grinch? He's a fucking asshole.
I don't think so. I think he just read about him in a bathroom wall at Jordan's fucking bar.
Slap me in the mouth.
But you know what? Monsters aren't born; they're created, and the fucking Who's created the Grinch by bullying him the
That's
whole
a
time.
villain.
So
That's
you
a
know,
villain origin story.
exactly.
a cartoon the other day. Like he goes to town to like grab some hash, and like they follow him around singing the whole fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be pissed too.
Look at the fucking Jim Carrey one. They
some
fucking
hash.
shave his head and they talk shit to a little kid, man. You know?
Yeah.
You'd be a dickhead too if they did that to
I
you.
saw a fucked
So,
up conspiracy theory about this.
Let's hear it.
So,
Another
everyone
45-minute
knows
podcast going.
Everyone knows Green Eggs and Ham.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Sam I Am. If you look up Sam I Am, he looks exactly like a Who.
Okay.
And there's like this whole thing about how the Grinch is the only remaining of his species because the Who's like genocided them.
And that's where the green
He
ham
comes
became
from?
green.
Makes sense.
So
Fuck the
you
Who's.
heard it here
Fuck the
first.
Who's.
The
Yep.
Who's suck.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Don't be a Who.
Oh my god, someone should make a movie that's like reversal.
Man, let's go.
Yeah.
Or like one of those recut movie trailers.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
have
yeah.
you ever seen Brokeback to the Future? It's fucking hysterical. I suggest everyone should
Go watch Santa. What was it? Rapping
For Jesus.
And then search Brokeback.
You'll have a great fucking
Yep.
day.
Broke Back to the Future.
I'll play it for you guys after
I'm
this.
gonna Google it.
Matt, over to you.
I'm gonna just do a couple of quick plugs if that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do.
If my Grinch one's
I'll be-
okay, Matt, I'm pretty sure whatever you're going to say.
I'll be playing music at Mayflower Brewing on New Year's Eve, 2 to 5, right in the daytime. So a little pregame before you go out.
There you go.
I'll be at New World Tavern the following week, 2 to 5 on the 7th. Right?
Yep.
And then I will plug Mayflower Brewing is doing their 15-year anniversary party, January 28th.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. It's on my
So,
calendar.
Yeah, so definitely you're going to want to write that one down. It's going to be a fun
Yeah,
one.
that's gonna
They
be
got
fun.
some serious stuff going on. I'm excited. I know Sarah's excited, so
That's awesome.
I had to plug that
It's
one
crazy.
for
15 years.
Yeah, it is,
Yep.
man.
Yeah.
her. Quinceañera.
Quinceañera. Please tell me that's gonna be their theme.
No, but I feel like I'm going to get
That'd be
Drew a
great.
quinceañera
Me and Maddie are
card.
wearing
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
All right, so it's me.
word.
I am going to give a shout out to Hannah and Hannah Gonzalez Dowling and Donnie Dowling. We love you guys and congratulations. If you guys don't already know, they're expecting. So they got a little podcaster in the oven, and they'll be airing their first episode sometime in March.
So congratulations, guys.
Nice.
And that's pretty much it.
Nice.
So you can email us at bartalkcast@gmail.com with all your questions, complaints. Jordan isn't on as much because we don't get any hate mail.
None.
Yeah.
So, write some shit to Jordan.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk some
Come
trash
at
real
him.
quick.
Come at him. Yeah.
So check that out. And you can find us on all social medias at Bar Talkcast. I forgot what the fuck I'm doing. And if you're in Vegas, you can catch us in March.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of March, we're going to
Yeah.
be at the Bar and Restaurant Expo.
Me and
again.
Jess are on stage this time because Jordan and Carl don't do this podcast anymore.
I have no idea. Maybe.
I'm like, I don't know that's going to happen.
I'm just show up.
Yeah, we'll be there. I think we're recording on the last day at the same time. So I think we're going to be the closing out.
I just took the week off.
Closing out the show again.
Yeah, so when he gets lost in Vegas.
Right.
But that's it. Fuck
Yep.
off.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks for checking out the show today, listeners. If you enjoyed the content today, you can go over to patreon.com/inebriart to support the show. You can join over there for just a few dollars a month and help us provide this fun content that you just checked out. You can also email us at inebriart.com with your questions, complaints, and concerns, or you can find us on all social medias at inebriart or at inebriart6 on Instagram. And also don't forget to check out our other shows, Bar Talk Podcast, Old Colony Cast, Inebriart, and all the other shows on the Inebriart Network, which you can find at inebriart.com. So thanks again for listening.